Course for the latest updates on the 2024 presidential election. I'm your moderator, Raquel Herring, here with our Democratic host, Shakia Moore, and our Republican host, Willie Montague. The results are in, and in a dramatic political comeback, Donald Trump has been elected as the 47th president of the United States. The former president defeated Kamala Harris, marking a return to the White House for the Republican Party. History was made yesterday, and we have so much to cover. So without further ado, let's get into the election results. Donald Trump has made history as the first former president to reclaim the White House since Grover Cleveland in 1892. At 78, he is also the oldest individual elected to the office and the first with a run of felony convictions. Securing over 290 electoral votes, Trump has clinched the presidency once again. Now let's take a look at his victory speech.
Frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country.
Willie, as a strong advocate for Trump's return to the White House, how are you feeling now that the election has ended in his favor?
You know, this is a great celebration. The day has finally arrived. I said it all weeks that we was here, and I kept saying, you are going to soon call him president, Donald Trump. And I told you it was going to be bigly, and that time has come. So we are in a bigly move here in the United States of America. And so congratulations, President-elect Donald John Trump.
Okay. Shakia?
I will be cordial today. Yeah, so it's an emotional day for the Democratic Party, in particular, people of color, and more specifically, women of color. You know, we had our hopes set very high. We did a lot of grassroots organizing, and frankly, Black women are tired of carrying this banner. And so it's depleting, especially if you've been an organizer for years like myself and other advocates who really take social justice and ensuring that folks know about the process of electing your state and local and federal, elected officials. And when you don't see a return on your investment, that's when apathy sets in, right? And so it's hard to convince people that this is truly how you get things done. And so we regroup and we'll see how this plans out over the next 4 years.
Okay. Vice President Harris has conceded the race, calling the president-elect on Wednesday to offer her congratulations. Harris delivered her concession speech today at Howard University, her alma mater, in Washington, D.C. Take a look.
Now I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
Shakia, Kamala Harris seems very hopeful about the future of the United States, and she stated that the fight is not over. What do you think we can expect in the future from Kamala Harris?
I think we should expect her to take some time to decompress from the last 108 days that she's been full force on the campaign. But I think once she regroups and she gathers herself, she'll come back, because she's not new to this. Like, she's been in tough positions like this before, and helping the community and being an advocate of social justice is a part of her destiny. And so with her working at the local, state, and federal level, I don't think she's gonna, peel back and go into the shadows. She'll just regroup and she'll come out stronger before. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this does for her future and her career in politics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Willie?
Well, the good thing is she still has 2.5 months to do some of the promises that she said she wanted to do and get with President Biden to get those accomplished. So I hope she takes the 2.5 months to do something.
Democrats aren't able to throw a hissy fit. We're not able to throw a tantrum.
Right.
So I wonder if we did, come out with gloves off and, doing the name calling and stooping low, we've seen in times past, I wonder what that would look like. But we won't see it because that's not the road that Democrats typically take.
Right.
And so she mentioned that she's going to have a peaceful transition of power, which is what we did not see in the previous election. And so we're looking forward to seeing how peaceful the other side would be. It's not peaceful on social media. It's not peaceful in the streets, and so I know we'll get to that later on, but, we're already starting to see the effects this has had on a lot of people in different ways. And so it's pretty nasty, and it's going to get interesting to see how it is over the next 2 months.
Okay. With Donald Trump's re-election, he now returns to the White House as a convicted felon facing ongoing criminal charges and civil cases, including his sentencing in New York's hush money case and additional state and federal charges. This unprecedented situation raises a critical question. So now onto the question everyone has been waiting for: what happens to Trump's criminal and civil cases now that he's back in office? Willie?
Okay, so if you actually research about this and you see with Jack Smith and different ones with the cases, what they're saying is that even if he continues and go to the court system, that the judge has multiple options. One of them is if he does convict them, they can go and continue to appeal it over and over until they exhaust all the appeals, which can go up to the Supreme Court, or the judge can come back and just completely just say that, just let it go. So there is something that the Supreme Court did pass about some limited immunities, and so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to tell you that come January 20th of 2025, President-elect Donald Trump will be the President of the United States. So there will be no legal action that will stop him from being the President of the United States.
I don't disagree with that. I do want to say anecdotally, I have been speaking with other people who were on the campaign, very closely to the campaign, and this question came up, right?
Okay.
And so what I've heard is that he will more than likely not be charged with any of those things. He won't be imprisoned with any of those things. And one of those reasons is because he's already stacked the Supreme Court. So you have people in place who are already bending the knee, right? Who are down to do all of the biddings that you have in place with no repercussions. There'll be no type of penalties for his lies, the bigotry, the insurrection, none of that will matter, right? And so now with that at the table, it changes the landscape of what we know to be democracy and what we know to be leadership. So I'm just interested to see how this all plays out. But I also heard that none of this will actually take place until like 2029. We are now in 2024. He'll take office in 2025. He may not even be around in 2029. So if that is the case, we will then have J.D. Vance, which is what I've been trying to warn everybody about, who's the real person that we should be alarmed about.
As it stands, President-elect Trump holds a nearly 5 million vote lead over Vice President Kamala Harris, potentially marking the first time in 20 years that a Republican has won the popular vote. Shakia, if Trump secures this, what impact could it have on the political landscape moving forward?
I didn't even realize we was going to touch on that. So what it would have on the political impact would be folks who are coming up in this generation. They would see that Donald Trump ran his campaign on propaganda and lies. So it naturally, folks will be able to say like, okay, if I'm in politics, this is how the way it should go. This is how I should run a campaign. And so we won't know what morals are really at play because it won't have any repercussions. Like people can just do what they want to do, and then, you know, they can say what they want to say and then get elected into the highest seat of the land.
Right.
So, and not just at the federal level, we can also see that at the local and the state level.
Sure.
So it's going to play a huge part in how folks conduct, you know, political business.
Yeah.
He is going to secure, he has secured the popular vote. That's no question.
Okay.
This popular vote, he's got the electoral college votes. Now, this is what is important to what Kia was just mentioning. You know, he secured the American people, and he brought out diversity like has never been seen before. Look at the numbers: black, brown, young, old. He did it. So as VP Harris has mentioned, it's a new day, it's a new way forward. So let's move forward with President Donald J.
We can talk about those who voted for him. It's mostly the white men and white women who voted for him, and even the Latino men. So if you want to talk about demographics, we can definitely go
It
there.
is.
But
You can
may
look at
not have time.
the urban
Coming
community.
up next, the aftermath from the 2024 presidential election has been trending across all social media platforms. We'll be right back with the latest updates after this commercial break. If you are just now tuning in, you are watching Americana, the platform where we serve you the latest updates on the 2024 presidential election. I'm your moderator, Raquel Herring, joined by our Democratic host, Shakia Moore, and our Republican host, Willie Montague. Willie has some things he would like to address to all of our viewers. Go ahead, Willie.
Thank you, thank you. Let me address these things to y'all folks. Now, I've read comments, I've seen the messages, I've received so much hate, per se, that has come from people who do not agree with my political platform. But I just want to say this to you guys. As it has been mentioned several times, it is truly a new way forward. As I've let everybody know, you know, I stand on what I believe. I definitely believe truly that President Trump is the person to be able to lead forward. And so I still welcome all your criticism. Just to let you know that I do respond to criticism, however it comes from me. So God bless you all, and let's continue to make America great again.
Now back to our regularly scheduled program. Stay tuned to see what's trending on social media. Welcome back. The results are in, and Donald Trump has officially won the 2024 presidential election. Reactions from around the world are just pouring in. Let's dive into some of the latest social media updates. While Trump supporters are thrilled, Harris's supporters are left emotional and devastated. Many citizens are feeling defeated and have lost all hope for the future of America. Willie, can you talk about the aftermath and the responses you have witnessed post-election?
I've seen a lot of drama. Is what it is. So all this, you know, somebody was crying and slobbing all on TikTok. I guess they want their little views to go up. And so they all, you know, up there just crying. It's like, y'all, just it's a new day. It's like, get up. It's not the end. Well, there we go. You know, so it's not the end of the world. This is what we have to realize. I saw so many people, oh, this is going to happen and this is going to happen. Someone literally posted yesterday saying, by tomorrow evening this time, you guys, we're going to be out there picking cotton. Guess what? I'm literally sitting on the stage at Americana. I'm not out picking cotton. So I don't know if you know there's a process that President Trump is not in office at this particular moment. So that goes to show like the civic part that is not educated. People are just in this fear-mongering, let's get up, let's do what we need to do, let's work together to build a better, brighter, bigger, bigly future that President Trump and J.D. Vance has for us here in America.
Okay.
Well, I share in those sentiments of that person you saw on TikTok. I mean, I woke up with my eyes swollen from crying as well, mainly because as a Black woman, I know how it feels to be overqualified for a position and still not be considered because of a white counterpart. And so you have someone who has worked at the local, state, and federal level and still could not convince the American people that she is the one for the job. Literally, Trump's campaign was based on propaganda and lies, and it won him 70 million votes. The same people who saw the insurrection took place, the same people who were aware of his 34 felony cases, the same people that heard him say that he would grab a woman by her vagina, like none of that mattered. And so what's disheartening is that 70 million people believe that Trump would make this world better again. And on day one, his press secretary said today that he plans to start his mass deportation, which is a part of Project 2025 that many people seem to have failed to realize that he is truly going to implement this within his first 180 days. So the tears that you saw from that young lady on TikTok was a resounding sound from women, men, children around the world who are literally afraid to see what day one of his presidency looks like and how that's going to impact them.
It was a witch hunt. So everything that was just mentioned was absolutely 100% a witch hunt. And that is what the American people have seen. That is why the American people got out and voted. Because if you have someone who has been nearly assassinated 2 times, you have seen where the DOJ has been weaponized as against President Trump. And then to also speak about, you know, where this these people voted as if, this is the choice. This is what America comes down to. And to talk about Project 2025, I have spoken to Black men, and you can say that they don't have a mother in their life. You can get whatever kind of hate speech that you want to, but they had agreed with Project 2025. I want you to go read
There's a
Project
small
2025.
percentage of Black men that voted for him, so let's just be very
Project
clear.
2025. President Trump over and over has disassociated himself with Project 2025. Even if President Trump took a small smidgen and said something about education, somehow the Democrat Party will align it with Project 2025 because they're bitter, they're weak, and they're cowards. This is the time to move forward to do what we need to do in America.
Well, we'll see.
And that's the end
so
of it.
we'll see.
But
when
in
he
his
gets
last
in office.
presidency, he had adopted, like it was another Project 25, Project 2020 or whatever, right? And he had adopted in his first 60 or 90 days, like 64% of that.
Raquel, I have a question for you.
What?
What year is this? Just answer the question. What year is it?
What? That's okay. We're supposed to learn from the past.
He adopted it, right? But did you not survive?
Ain't no need.
Do you see any Black people taken back somewhere, enslaved, picking cotton? You somehow from 2020 to 2024 or 2016 to 2024, all of a sudden Trump is different now, and he's going to lasso all of us up, put us on the back of the bus like Rosa Parks, and give us potatoes to pick and cotton to pick, as if we're sitting here living back in the 1800s, 1900s.
Yeah.
You are not oppressed. You are not suppressed. The only reason Black people take up the victimhood mentality is because you are hoodwinked Negroes that has taken on the agenda of LBJ Great Society. Now you woke up a giant on the inside of me. So if you want to really talk, and you want to talk about something, talk about the real issues of how the Democrats, the white liberals, is the worst attack on Black Americans. They want to kill your babies in the womb. They They want to take the father out of the home. That is the real issue. And President Trump, whether you like him or not, white, brown, or indifferent, that is not what he stands for. So I'm standing as a black man, and to some of y'all that had this to say, a black straight man, a black man, to let you know that I am supporting and will continue to support the agenda that is for black and brown. I'm pro-black that happen to be a Republican. It's okay to be Republican and pro-black. So thank you all for your time and consideration, but I'm trying to tell you what's moving forward.
The issue ain't about you being black and Republican. The issue is that you really subscribe to this BS that Donald Trump and most of the MAGA Republicans put out to the American people. And so that's the issue. It's not about you being black and Republican. It's okay to have differing views. It's as if you are blinded at the fact that you will not be impacted by the BS, and I'm trying my best to keep this censored, the stuff that is coming from the Republican Party, and that will be down the pipeline. So I look forward to having this conversation again in a couple of months and seeing how you are impacted by this. And I just want to make this real clear for y'all that's watching, whether it's live or on Instagram or whatever. The way that the economy is right now, look at how we have lower gas prices. Look at how HBCUs have received the most funding that they have in a long time, actually a historic number. I want you to take a snapshot of where we are economically and compare that within the first year or the first 2 years of Donald Trump's presidency. Because you're going to see he's going to take credit for how the economy is right now for when it starts to tank. Oh, I did that, and he didn't. So I just want to make that real clear.
I'm glad you mentioned that. President Trump has not even got into office, and the dollar has literally increased since overnight. It has increased. This shows you the economy is even starting to turn around, and he only is president-elect. Now, I want you to say, you said how I'm going to be impacted. I'll tell you how I'm going to be impacted as a black man in a couple of months. You are going to see me up there probably chilling with Amber Rose on a jet, because we're going somewhere.
That's so tasty.
We're going somewhere.
That is such a classy lady.
We're going somewhere. So I'm ready for it.
You are going somewhere.
Well, I hope you don't get stopped and frisked, Willie. That's all I hope.
Well, I mean, if it's Amber Rose, she can stop and frisk. Let's continue.
Ooh, that's nasty. You sound just like Trump. You want to grab her by her vagina.
Okay. Now let's talk about the polls leading up to the election. Donald Trump's vote numbers appeared slightly lower than what the final results showed. Willie, what factors do you think contributed to this gap between the polls and the actual outcome?
Well, we said this, and I would hope Shakir would agree. We had said this before, that polls are snapshots, and that they fluctuate. And because, there was polls that had VP Harris leading, all the way up to the final day. So that's why I was saying that, and I said this before, that polls literally, it could have been the other way, literally. All jokes aside, VP Harris could have took it over, and the polls could have said that President Trump was leading. I would say I don't think that the voters should be discouraged by polls.
Okay.
I think that we have done a good job on this show to educate the fact that polls are snapshots. Yeah. They are not facts. You can't control it. And let me tell you how this, if the three of us are up here and you poll three of us, you vote and say you like peanut butter and jelly, but I don't, then it's going to say 1 out of 3. Okay. And so that was only by us 3. That doesn't account for all the other people, whether they like peanut butter and jelly. So that's how the poll is. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. It is a snapshot. I think it was just really disheartening to see the amount of people that attended VP Harris's rallies, the folks that came out and endorsed her. I don't think any of that was in vain. I do just believe that the white men and women felt more compelled to vote for Donald Trump to sustain white supremacy so that they are not displaced in this country. And so I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, well, how about this? How might the results of this election influence future strategies for both the Republican and Democratic parties?
Well, I'm going to tell you straight up, there has to be a whole new strategy. President Trump, he won in areas that people didn't think, in urban areas, but I think as a Republican, we do have to do better down the ballot. I would say that. There has to be a big strategy.
Yeah, I would agree too. For the Democratic Party, there needs to be some hard conversations, and I'm sure those conversations are already being had. And at every level, not just with the federal level, I think, local chapters and how we're getting out the vote and how we're getting out the message. But at the end of the day, folks need to have an interest in what we're providing as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, you all, the race between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris has certainly kept us on our toes. Now that we have the results, what do you think the future holds for America? Stay connected with us and drop a comment below if you are watching us on social media. Thank you for tuning in to Americana. We will see you right here tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Thanks for watching.